Hello, everyone. This session, Digitizing What You Do, is going to focus on how to turn regular Word documents and PDF files into digital worksheets. So this will help us be more efficient and more effective and a little bit quicker in flipping over some of our already existing documents and PDFs and worksheets that we've used when we were in person. And now we'll be able to use them in Google Slides so the students can actually type on them. It saves time so we don't have to type up everything and recreate everything, and will help us streamline some of our activities and lessons that we want to put in. So starting out at Google Drive, we are going to create a new document. So you're going to click in the upper left hand corner, new. We're going to be using Google Slides. So in Google Slides, we're going to be able to change the background here into our worksheet, and then what we're going to do is kind of overlay text boxes in the places where the students can then type in, and we can use those worksheets that we've already had created and have already used before. So I'm going to show you two different ways to do this, going from two different sources, one a Microsoft Word source and then the other one a PDF source. So the first thing that we want to do with our Google Slides is kind of format it. And so with Slides is more a landscape view instead of a portrait. So we're going to go to File, and we are going to slide down to Page Setup, which is all the way near the bottom. Now this is the default is 16 by 9, so we want to change that to custom. We want to make that a regular 8.5 by 11. And now we have our regular screen, that a regular sheet of paper layout that we would see our worksheet on. Now these boxes that we have on here, easy way to just kind of clear that out is click on the box and just hit the delete, so those are out of our way. Okay, now we're ready to, we're prepared to glue our worksheet into the spot when we need it, so the students will be able to use it. So the first one I have here is a Word document. Okay, this is something we created and have typed up in Word already. So it is saved to one of my files on my computer. I'll also show you how to do the PDF as well. So I have found this PDF converter. It's pdf to image.com. You can find any other one. So what we want to find here, if you don't use this one, you want to find something that can turn your PDF into a JPEG file. Okay, so this converts everything. You could go PDF to a document, PDF to text, or the other way around, a PDF to a Word file. So that's what we're going to be working with there. So the first thing that we need to do is with our Word document, we have to turn this into a PDF. So if we go to File and Save As, up at the top there, you can keep the description and the name the way it is, but we want to hit this drop down box here and we want to save this as a PDF. And you can put wherever you'd like to save it. I found that it's pretty easy to save it onto the desktop, so it's easy to find back and forth as you're doing this. So I'm going to save that as my PDF to my desktop. We have that right here. Okay, once I have that saved as a PDF, I can now go into my converter. So again, very simple and easy way to do that. It's drag and drop. I can drag and drop it right into here. Converts it for me, and then I'm going to download it. This download has it in it condenses it into a zip file. So when you go back in here again, you're going to open it up. It's now a JPEG file, and we got to kind of do that same process over. We are going to save as. I'm going to put it back on the desktop so it's easy to find. All right, this one, it's renamed a little bit different, so it does not overwrite the other copy. And now I have that JPEG saved right here. Now that we have that all saved and all ready to go, we can go back to our Google Slides presentation. So when we click on the top slide, what we're essentially doing is creating the background with that JPEG file. So up at the top here, it says background. We're going to change the background, and we're going to choose an image, and we're going to upload that image, and we save that right onto the desktop. We have to find the correct file. And now that will upload right to where we need it to. I'm going to zoom in here so you guys can kind of see what that looks like. All right, so now this is set as the background. So the students, if they try and click on it, they cannot move it, they cannot do anything with it. So that's helpful with them not deleting anything or not doing anything to try and change the format of your worksheet. So now we have the worksheet, we got to create a place for the students to actually type in. And that we're going to do that through text boxes. So when we click on a text box here, we're just going to drag it to where we want the text box where the students can type. And now it's there. Now you can format this however you want it. You can change where it has an outline so the students can see where everything is and where they're clicking. I've also done something like this where you could type in, click here, and then they know that the text box is there. When they click on it, then they can type. They can change the size of the text if they needed to fit into the different size text boxes. And then we're just going to create these text boxes for all these different questions in the areas where we want them to type in. And an easy way to do that is if we have some that are going to be similar size like we have here, we can Control copy and then Control C, I'm sorry, to copy, Control V to paste. And then I'm just going to drag these down to the different places that I need questions answered. And I would continue to do this all the way down the worksheet until I was finished pasting all of the different text boxes that I needed for the students to complete their assignment. So I would do a couple more. Now once we have this, we're going to save this presentation, whatever we need to save it, and now we have a document that's usable in Google Classroom. So when we would post this assignment, we would post it as either a worksheet, an activity, an assignment, or even a quiz if you wanted to do it that way. And then we would share it with the students. We would want to make sure that the students could each had their own copy, so they're not changing the same document for other students. But that's created there. And now the students, when they go in there, all they'd have to do is click in here and type their questions. They can delete the click here. Or again, you could format the text box to have a border color and everything so they'd see that was there. So that would be our first one. Now PDF is going to be the same exact way, except it's already created as a PDF. If you have some of those worksheets, the U.S. history materials that we have, part of them is a PDF of each of the different worksheets that we already have. So if I was going to use that one, I would create a new slide. I would again go in and remove these text boxes that we don't need right now. I'm going to bring in my PDF that's already created, and I just have to save that one. I'm going to save it to the desktop again. So it's the same, essentially the same process. I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. This one. So I would save it. I'm going to do it to the desktop because it's easier that way. It is saved. I would make sure I knew where my document was. I would go into the converter again. I can clear the queue on that one so I don't get confused, and then I'm going to drag and drop it in here. It's going to convert it to my JPEG. I will download that one to the zipped file. I'll open up the JPEG file. Now this one I have to save again. I'm going to save it to my desktop. Once it is saved, I can go back into my Google. My second slide, again, I'm going to click the background. I'm going to choose the image that I would like. I'm going to browse, or again here you can drag and drop. And now I have my worksheet. Students cannot move this or anything, and I would again go back in and create my text boxes so students could complete that. And I do that all the way down. So this is a quick way to, there's a couple different steps, but it is a quicker way than having to try and recreate this whole entire worksheet from scratch on Word or on Google Slides or Google Docs. So it's a quick and easy way to copy, paste, convert a couple things, and now the students have things that are usable in Google Classroom.